Jesus asked over 300 questions in the Gospels, most of them of us on behalf of God. But there is one in particular he asked of God on behalf of us. We think of it every Good Friday. Why have you forsaken me? In those 5 words, Jesus gathers up all of the loss, hurt, confusion, and disappointment that we feel at a time like this. And he speaks to God on our behalf. It's like everything that's happening to us happens to him. He is weak and powerless, intimidated, victimized, exploited, humiliated, and worse, he is alone. Anyone who has sat shocked in a waiting room or a courtroom, or sat in a marriage after the other person abandoned it, knows the feeling of this. Anyone that has prayed for something to happen and it didn't, or gone on a search for God in other religions and came up with nothing, knows the ache in Jesus's words, why have you forsaken me? If we were honest, we would say we've wondered if we did not say it. I know I have. And yet in those words, there is tremendous hope that liberates our soul. For in those words, Jesus himself struggles with God. God is struggling with God, all the while remaining one with him. Think about that. One does not have to leave God in order to wrestle with him. One can feel abandoned by God while remaining in union with God. In fact, that's who the people of God are. We are not some overly triumphant, glass half full person that doesn't feel any of the pain in this world. We feel it all, and we have the same questions, but we wrestle in God instead of away from him. So if this is you, if this pandemic has you asking questions that are hard on your faith, questions about the character of God, if you want to believe but you can't, if you've been hurt, disappointed, frustrated, even angry with God, own it, but stay in it. Talk to God, not about him. Simmer in your questions. Don't jump to conclusions, and don't retaliate by saying aggressive things about God as a kind of revenge. Be honest, but be fair and be mature. Suspend your faith if you must, but don't leave it. This is your Good Friday, and it takes as long as it takes. You can't hurry it, ignore it, avoid it. You have to stay in it. And you can't pretend that it isn't important, because it is. On your Good Friday, certainty will seem overrated. You will find yourself struggling with things you were dogmatic about on Palm Sunday. But it's Good Friday. There is no clarity. There is only trust. You will have to wait. And why? Because if you stay in the struggle, it ends on Easter, when God himself breaks into your world, moves the stone, raises the dead, and lets himself loose in the world again. You will see it if you stay in the struggle. For some of you, this is hard to believe, but it's still Friday. Sunday is coming sooner than you think.